when you want to be wealthy, you don't look for money. You start looking for knowledge that will give you the money. Let me say it again. I said, if you want to be what? Wealthy, you don't look for money. You look for the knowledge. You look for the how. You look for the way. Now, when you get the way, you will get the money. Now, please hear me. Can you listen? It is not the money that separates us, it's the way. You see, because God cannot reveal the way to everybody. Let me say it again. I say it is not the way, it's not the money that separates us. It is the way. Now, you don't lose the money when you know the way. The first time I met angels that helped men to build churches was 19 years ago. I was a young preacher in Kano. The first time I met angels, I met angels that help men to build buildings. Was 19 years. I met them on my knee. It was angels that I met, not men. I said, no, it was angels, not men. I didn't meet men. I met angels. And then they promised me that they will help me. They promised me. Now, those angels I met promised me that they will help me. And then they started going to men. They went to men because men are their servants. The first time I bought land in Kano, it was angels that told me that they would give me money, not men. And then when I accepted, they started going to men. I said, no, they started going to men. I will wake up, a man will say, I want to give you money. And when he come, I will smile. Because I know that a particular spirit went to him. Spirits can go to people on your behalf when you meet them. Now, if I know that I can make a spirit to help me, why should I be worried about this building? It's finished. And don't forget that why we go there every night is because that is the way, that is the knowledge that I use in building. What do I say? That is the knowledge yes, that is the knowledge I have used. That particular method have always worked for me. So I am not learning the method. I'm not looking for money because I know the method. So knowledge is wealth. There are some things that when you know them, you will no longer suffer. You will know them once and you will not suffer. There are some things that when you know them, you will not lack what you need. You just have to know. Now, this separation, please, I would like you to listen. What made Jesus King of Kings and Lord of Lords was in 34 and 35 of Matthew. He was able to unveil mysteries that were hidden from the foundation of the world. That means that the wealth of Jesus was in the knowledge. Please, I would like you to listen. I would like you to listen. One of the ways to know poor families families that will be poor in 10 years is that their children will hate light now. I said, one of the ways to know a church that will close soon, or a church that doesn't have relevant people, is that the church does not have knowledge. You see, because you need knowledge to connect to wealth and future. I said you need. Can I tell you something? all luminary bodies, that is all light producing bodies, are reigning bodies. I say all light producing bodies are reigning bodies. They are reigning. So you see, the sun has already declared the day. So you don't deprive the sun the reigning capacity after the sun has enlightened the day. If the sun give you light, then the sun will be in charge of your life. Let me say again. I say if the sun gives you, then the sun. If you go to a village and that village is dark for a very long time, the village has produced illiterates for a very long time. I'm going to be talking about generational curse. If you go to a family where they say we are breaking curse, you don't break curse through light, through prayer. Excuse me. You break curse through light. There is nothing that is called light in the midst of. There is nothing that is called light in the midst. That is called lack, curse in the midst of brightness. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'll come to it. And today is the first day I'm sharing it this way. When Ham saw the nakedness of Noah, what Ham saw was nakedness. The word nakedness means lightlessness of Noah. The lightlessness, darkness of Noah. And then instead of covering Noah with light of intelligence, he went and exposed Noah. So he was cursed. It is only dark people that can expose nakedness. Darkness exposes nakedness. But light covers nakedness. And when light covers nakedness, there will be no cause. I say when light covers, there will be no cause. You cannot declare cause in the midst of brightness. Can I say it again? I say you cannot declare. You cannot say S-U-R-S-E in the midst of brightness. If there must be cause, there must be darkness. Because it is darkness that sustains cause. Somebody have to be naked. The word naked is synonymous to spiritual blindness, ignorance, nakedness, cost, shame will appear. Let me go to something that if you're a young man, marry and you want to marry a girl, marry something that is kept in the legend. Kept in the legend. A consciousness. A consciousness. The Awolowo brought light consciously to Yoruba land. Now there's a difference between something you're stumbling into and something that you consciously. Awolowo know the weight of knowledge. So he consciously brought it. There are wolves in the natural seed. That is why Sibanjo is marrying the granddaughter. And then the Tunubus are still representing their wolves two ways. Because knowledge is wealth. Listen, the Awolowo will never die. You see, there are two things that if you lack it, somebody's life will end. Number one is vision. Two is knowledge. Listen, don't pray for somebody that lack these two. The prayer will not achieve much. I said the prayer. Now, please, can you look up? Let me come and end it. Every destiny brings a man to a certain kind of knowledge. Every destiny brings a man to a certain kind of knowledge and learning. Now, what made me shepherd is my knowledge, is my kind of knowledge. my kind of learning, who I learn from. There are things I learn that made me shepherd. Now, if you get my book, there are things I write that make me shepherd. There are thoughts that I preach that make me shepherd. Now, that knowledge is what is called, is my wealth. Now, if I keep on sharing here till 3 o'clock, it is not possible for me to come down from here and lack what I need. Because you cannot lack currency, that is money. Currency of the world when you have the currency of God. Let me say it again. I say you cannot lack money currency when you have currency of God. Now, those who lack money lack knowledge first. The guardian angel of honor meets every man in the path of knowledge. Let me say again. I said the guardian angel of honor meets every man in the path of knowledge. And it is in the path of knowledge that people are protected. Excuse me. Let me ask you to listen. Let me ask you to listen. There is nobody that have ever gotten deliverance through prayer. You don't pray away witchcraft. I said, no, you don't pray away. You don't pray away witchcraft. In fact, prayer strengthens witchcraft. Because the capital thing witches do is to pray. Excuse me. If you go to a church where people pray too much, those that attend that church are witches. More. That is why when preaching is going on, now because prayer now excuse me, I've been to prayer meetings. Listen, how quick. I say Holy Ghost has come. I'm a child like this. I say Holy Ghost is here now. All people who are under mental torture. I said, she has seen a demon that is passing. Let me say it. Africa is one of the most praying continents, and Africa is the darkest continent. Excuse me, let me ask you to listen. I want to ask you a question. If you have stayed up to 40 years on earth, can you use prayer to change the way somebody think? Don't you know that problems are sustained in that thinking? Don't you know that it is the way that a man think that keeps a man down? And if prayer, the theme for synod this year, synod, is the restoration of all things. The restoration of all things. Now listen, the Bible says heaven will keep him until we change the way we think. Heaven will continue to keep. Excuse me. The difference between an engineer and the laborer is that an engineer tells a laborer where he should keep the block he brought. It's happening on there now. The difference between that guy that is carrying gravel there and the one that is organizing the gravel is that the one that is carrying the gravel is carrying the gravel without knowing where he will keep it. The engineer will say, go and get the gravel. You go and get the gravel. You say, pour here. Because oh Jesus, yeah, pour. You go and get it. Now, excuse me, that's why he's suffering. He can't come out of pain. I don't know how to explain to you. He can't come out of pain because you say, go and get block. Go and get block. He said, "Go with it." He said, "Keep it there." The man will be there waiting for you. Go and get another one and come there. The man that telling him to go and get, he's not going anywhere. So he's not waiting. But the difference between you and the one that getting the block, because you know where the block should be. This one doesn't know. He only gets block. You see, because if for him to know where the block should be, he should go and learn, and he's not learned. This other one studies building engineering, civil, 5 years to learn where block. There is no way. There is no way it happened and people didn't remain in pain. There is no way darkness reigned that people didn't remain. I want to say something else. There is also no way that light reigned that gold didn't follow it. Where light reigned and gold didn't follow it. There are 3 things you don't separate. You don't separate light, glory, and gold. Anyone one is found. The remaining two others will go there. I say anywhere one, the remaining 2 others. I said, if somebody said he is learned and he's suffering, don't listen to his learning. He's not learned. He doesn't have. Maybe he's somebody who other people taught something and he's trying to practice something that's not clear. But every peculiar life has peculiar knowledge. In fact, in sanctuaries of power, where people are made rich by Satan, what they teach there is just knowledge. All the people who reigned on earth reigned through the key of knowledge. In 16 of the book of Matthew, it was the key of knowledge. It was on knowledge that Jesus laid the foundation of the church. Jesus laid the foundation of the church on knowledge. So, and then the church has reigned 2 billion people all over the world on something that was laid on knowledge. Life is in knowledge. I told you that about 3 years ago when I made the book on the power of revelation, the Lord told me that if not because of revelation, this is where my grave would have been. And this is, I just know that I wouldn't have been up to 40 years on earth. I wouldn't have been up to 40 years. I wouldn't have been up to 40 years on this earth. Now, what sustained me up to 40 years and make me eternal is light. Now, anywhere there is premature death, it is darkness that kills people. Wherever there is darkness, there will be death. Wherever evil is sustained, there will be death. If you see a family and they are poor and everybody is suffering, go and check it. What is there is darkness. Please hear me. Darkness remains when an illiterate fool thinks he knows. Darkness when think that he knows. You see, because the spirit of darkness is a subtle spirit. Now, if you go to my village where there is no light, or some places where there is no development, those who are living there don't believe that they are illiterate. They don't believe. If you sit down, they start telling you what they know, and they know from what house. I said they know from. You see, because if Satan allowed them to know that they don't know, they will be free. Because you shall know the truth, and the truth shall So Satan will not allow them to know that they don't know. To know that they don't know. Because if they know that they don't know, they will start knowing. They will start seeking. This I'm sharing. This I'm sharing now. I didn't include it yesterday. But yesterday I've already gotten 6 I want to share. But when I was about to take birth in the morning, I learned something in the house there. I learned in the house there. So the Lord said, tell the people to learn every day. Now, let me go away from it by telling you. Every day you wake up in the morning, pray to God to learn something you don't know. Now, don't learn general knowledge. Learn knowledge that is helpful to you personally. Learn knowledge that is helpful to you personally. Now, the knowledge that Jesus learned is not the knowledge of John the Baptist. No, because their life were different. Now, we can have knowledge that we share, but there are knowledge we don't share. Let me say again. I say we can have knowledge, but we... Now, excuse me. The things I don't teach are more than the things that I teach. You see, because the knowledge that is meant for me personally, there's no need sharing it with you. And there is a knowledge that is meant for you personally. I don't need to know it. For instance, you're a woman. There are certain knowledge that is meant peculiar for women. Why will I know it? I don't need it because I'm not a woman. It's not useful to me. Now, let me go away from something. Light. Thrones are made in light. Thrones. I mean knowledge. Thrones are made in light. Thrones are made in knowledge. That is place of rule. Now, the difference between a king and the subject is the knowledge that made that throne. I said this. Yes. Because thrones are made in knowledge. Please let me ask you to listen. If you're here, you're a mother, pay attention to me. One of the ways to know that your child has a future is through the attachment of that child to knowledge. What I say is to know there will be attachment to knowledge. There will be attachment. There will be early attachment. Excuse me. I'm going to go away from something. I want to tell you this thing quickly. There are values that are inherent in children. They are traits they came with. You don't teach it to them. If it is not there, they won't have it in abundance. I say if it's not. No, if it's not there, they will not have it in abundance. But if it is there, they don't need you to encourage them because they are inspired from inside. Now, there are 3 values I knew that I had when I was 9. And I'm still having it now. The foundation of Lucas Army is built on them. Number one, I had affinity for knowledge. When they were asking me, I'm sorry about, don't misunderstand it. When they were asking me that I should go and get a shop, my father, peace to him, is in glory. Listen, I've said it many times and I will keep saying it. I know it in my heart that I will never sit down in a shop. That for me to sit down in a shop, I will die. Huh? I prefer to die than to own a shop. I can own a shop now. But I will not sit down there. I can own a shop. Lucas can own a shop now. but I will never sit in a shop. Now, excuse me, at 18, at 9, I know. 9. Number 2, 9 years. 9. Number 2, at 9, I know infinite thinking. Yes, I know infinite thinking. That is functioning from the realm of the miraculous. That is, at that time, what I mean by infinite thinking is I know that nothing is impossible. You don't tell me anything. That is why when I was young, I would be connecting heaven to the earth as a small boy, because I know infinite thinking. There is something that I know. Again, I know more, but let me tell you the third one so I can go on to what I'm teaching. At 9, I understand peculiarity. What do I say? No, I know. Because you see, there are some things my mates we are doing, and I know I can do it. I know that that thing they are doing is not. Please listen. I've never opened one bottle of beer. I've never. I can't remember it. How? I've never smoked. I've never written a girl a love letter. Please hear me. Don't think I'm trying to say I'm saintly. It's not what I'm trying to say. Get it? I have no love for it. It's not about God. Something in me hate it. I came with a nature that hate it. I didn't tell you I was afraid of God. Even if I'm not a preacher now, I will not still be notorious. I said even if I'm not a preacher now, even if I'm a politician now, I will not still be notorious. I will not be notorious. Now, if you have a son, a small boy, find out these things I said that I had was in me, in him, and channel him very well. Put your hand together for Jesus. What the boy has is more important than what you're teaching. Because the teacher will stop, and then the boy will live the life he has. I said the teacher, no matter how long the sermon is, the teacher will stop, and people will live. It's not the teacher that gives life. Everybody comes with his life. Is it like an intelligent there? That is why when you see a unique girl and you want to marry her and she doing shakara, keep kneeling down for her. If that girl will change your family, kneel down for her. And don't forget that people that have value know they have it. People that have value know they have it. Unique values are not found everywhere. If you find something that you need, go after it. If you know that you're unique here, don't lose it. Crowns are not under competition. Head that wear crown knows himself. Can I say it again? I say heads. No head that wear crown knows himself. Now, it doesn't come from God. People are born with it. It's there in the head. It's there in the head. There is something that, Anthony Joshua was trying to boast about fighting this Ukrainian. He said yesterday there in Gogo, he said, punchers are born. He said, don't learn punching. There is something in me that sees Satan. Something in me that understands Satan. It's a kind of knowledge. The messianism of Jesus is a knowledge messianism. It's a revelational messianism. Living from your source. Have your Ezebube, have your way. Chukwu, have your way. Akana warrior, have your way. Have your way, have your. Akana warrior, have your way. Have your way. Have your way. Have your way. Okaka, have your way. Have your way. Have your way. Hallelujah. Living from your source. Now, everybody has a source. Everybody has a source. It is a miracle for a living man on earth to know his source. It's a miracle. You see, because why you have to know your source is because you will live from your source. You will live from your source to represent your source. The support you need on earth is not the support of God. No, it's not the support of God that you need. You need the support of your source. No, not the support of God. God supports you from your source. Excuse me, God, if we believe that it is God that help everybody, that help people, then God should help everybody. It is not God helping man, it is the source of a man. After all, the God of every man is found in the source of that man. I said the God of every man is the spirit of his source.